It was barely 7 a.m. when a thunderous knock rattled my front door and made my coffee cup vibrate on the counter. I wasn't expecting anyone, especially not on a Saturday morning. Still half asleep, I shuffled to the door and opened it to find Lydia, the HOA president, standing there in her blinding neon blazer, flanked by two security guards who looked like they'd been rejected from mall cop training. Without a hello, she barked, "We've received several noise complaints and demand immediate access to your garage." I blinked. Noise. I hadn't even turned on the lights yet. Behind her, a few neighbors peeked through their curtains, already recording. I leaned against the frame and gave her a calm smile. "Sorry, Lydia. That's private property." Her jaw dropped. She wasn't used to being told no. Her goons looked unsure, as if waiting for her cue to break something. You could see the wheels turning in her head. Drugs? Weapons? Some kind of underground crime ring? The truth was something she could never imagine. My garage didn't house illegal contraband. It was a covert FBI audio surveillance hub. Not music, not a podcast studio, just layers of wiretap tech, encrypted servers, and soundproofed walls. And Lydia had just made herself a key suspect in an active federal sting. I closed the door in her stunned face and watched through the peephole as she stormed off, muttering, "He's hiding something. We'll find another way." And just like that, I knew she wouldn't let it go. By noon, the neighborhood chat was buzzing. Lydia had posted a vague warning about suspicious behavior at my address, calling on residents to remain alert. I chuckled into my second cup of coffee. My equipment was dead silent, no noise, no interference, just paranoia giving birth to conspiracy. I figured Lydia would throw a tantrum and then move on. I underestimated her. Later that night, while taking out the trash, I spotted her and a few bored loyalists whispering across the street. One of them held bolt cutters. I grinned. They thought they were on some spy mission. Too bad for them. My property was laced with surveillance, hidden cameras, motion sensors, and a silent alarm that fed directly to the FBI field office. They weren't just poking the bear, they were smearing steak on their necks and walking into the den. Just before midnight, they made their move. Lydia, wearing a scarf like she was going into combat, led two bumbling sidekicks to my gate. Crowbar, bolt cutters, and a cheap walkie-talkie. Classic amateurs. As they crept in, the alarm tripped silently. Black SUVs stormed in from both ends of the street. Lights, sirens, agents with drawn weapons, all of it exploding at once. Lydia screamed and dropped her crowbar. One of the guys tripped over a flower bed. The third just froze. I stood on my porch, sipping coffee, watching federal agents cuff Lydia on my front lawn. "Thank you for your cooperation, sir," one agent said, nodding. Lydia's shrill protest, "I'm the HOA president. I have rights," was drowned out by the chaos. The next morning, the neighborhood turned into a gossip circus. People walked their dogs a little slower past my house, staring. Karen's late-night stunt was the scandal of the year. But she wasn't done. By sunset, she was already planning round two. A couple nights later, she returned, this time with a signal jammer and a scanner. Her plan? Prove my garage was interfering with emergency frequencies. Never mind the fact that my tech didn't even touch those bands. I sat in my living room, sipping tea, as they tiptoed around the property again. The jammer squealed. Her sidekick nearly dropped it. They pressed the scanner to the garage like they were listening for ghosts. And then click me, second motion sensor triggered. Floodlights blazed. More SUVs. More agents. Lydia tried to run, tripped over a solar light, and got tackled to the ground. Her crew was rounded up in seconds. Looks like they just upgraded from trespassing to possession of illegal surveillance equipment, Agent Daniels remarked, holding up the jammer with two fingers. Lydia, covered in dirt, shrieked about injustice, calling me a criminal. Daniels read her rights calmly as she gawked like a broken puppet. The next day, the story blew up. News vans circled. Footage of Lydia screaming in handcuffs went viral. Memes flooded the internet. My favorite was her face photoshopped onto a cartoon burglar. The HOA crumbled. Board members resigned, claiming ignorance or coercion. One guy tried to wipe all his emails still late. The FBI had it all. At an emergency HOA meeting, Agent Daniels laid it out. Trespassing, obstruction, tampering with federal property. Lydia tried to speak, slid a folder of evidence toward her. Her eyes widened with every page. Todd, one of her loyalists, cracked first. Linda followed. It was a full-on collapse. The board was told to resign. New elections would be held under federal supervision. People approached me afterward, thanking me, asking me to run for the board. I declined. I had no interest in becoming the new tyrant. But the city had other plans. A few days later, a municipal liaison offered me an honorary civilian oversight role. I accepted. Lydia's downfall was swift. She took a plea deal. No jail time if she paid massive fines, did thousands of community service hours, and agreed never to hold any position of authority again. She was spotted picking up trash in another county, wearing an orange vest, avoiding eye contact with people filming from their cars. To celebrate, the neighborhood threw a block party. My garage, now legendary, was the star attraction. The FBI gave me a plaque, Outstanding Service in HOA Counterintelligence. We hung a clipboard-shaped piñata and filled it with candy and fake violation slips. Agent Daniels showed up off-duty and toasted with me. 15 years in this job, he said. Never seen anything quite like this. That night, under the glow of backyard lights and laughter, I realized something important. Lydia had tried to control everyone with fear, but all she did was bring us together. The very community she sought to dominate had risen in unity and crushed her. Sometimes the quiet guy with the closed garage door is the one you should fear the most. And sometimes the biggest change starts with the smallest word, no.